Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be testing out the DJI ND filters, neutral density filters. It's a gorgeous sunny day. It's actually really quite bright, even though it's starting to get into the late afternoon. So the plan is to fly the same route 4 times, and we'll fly it with no filters attached to the camera at all, then the ND4, the ND8 and then the ND16. And then finally I'll fly the route once more, just making some minor corrections to the attitude of the camera, and we'll see if we can get a better looking shot. So before we set off, let's talk a little bit about fitting the ND filters. So you can see here I have an ND16 already fitted. The one thing I would recommend, these things are quite delicate, and the gimbal on here is also very delicate. So you need to make sure you don't go in this ham-fisted. Very little amounts of pressure are required to fit it correctly, but the first thing you should remember is turn off the Mavic before you fit it. And the reason I say that is the Mavic obviously has a 3-axis stabilized gimbal, and if you're messing around with it, you're fighting against the motors of the Mavic and you might just overload it. So really, to fit these things is really quite simple. If I hold that up there, you'll see there are these little tabs just on the side. There's 3 of them. You only really need to fit 2 of them. So if I take this one off, all I'm going to do is just lift it out. So you see, with the gimbal off, I'm not actually fighting against the motors. So again, very little amounts of pressure required. Okay, so that's the filter off. So you can see here there are these little tabs, and really all you have to do is hook the bottom one, or any one of them, underneath to get it into position, and then as you press on top of these you'll hear them click. Now obviously it's not going to be a loud click, but if I do it again here, you'll see I'll put it over the filter and I'll put my finger behind the camera. Get it in place. Try not to put your finger on the lens. Once I've got it into place, I'm just going to press one side on, and that holds it in place. Now again, I can just press down, and all 3 of them, once they click into place, you can actually get it in and it will be seated. So you don't want it coming off in flight. And again, once it's on, you can then power up the Mavic and go through your pre-flight checks. So let's get this thing in the air and let's run the route.
There's a girl in a room, and she's growing old too soon. There's a voice in her head, but the words are left unsaid. Getting up, falling down, in a sleepy one-horse town. For a love that's been a dream so long.
So I think that's pretty convincing. You can see with an ISO setting of 100 and a shutter speed of 1/50th of a second, without a filter on, it's unusable. We're almost whited out. And even with the ND16 on, the image is still a little bit washed, because there is just so much sunlight today. A little bit of color correction and some work on the sky, and you can get a very usable image with the ND16 on today. Generally I fly, if it's a sort of cloudy day, I will fly with the ND4 on, almost by default these days. But the one thing I always make sure to do is to set my white balance. So once you're up and running, go into your camera settings, and if it's a cloudy day, choose cloudy. If it's a bright sunny day, choose sunny, or one of the other settings, or whatever you prefer. But getting your white balance close to accurate to start will certainly help get a better picture. You can always correct some of it later on in post-production. For this last run, what we're going to do is I'm just going to tip the camera down so I don't get as much of the sky in the shot. I'm going to leave all the other settings the same, and I'm going to fly the same route. You'll see just by keeping that camera away from the horizon where the sky is going to be completely washed out and it's going to be a lot of light, we get a much better shot. So here is the same shot again. We'll fly around the windmill and you'll see how much difference it makes.
There's a girl in a room.
Hope you found these useful. If you have, then please hit the subscribe button, please hit the like button, leave me a comment below. I have had a few people that seem to have watched 2 seconds of a video and then clicked dislike, so I've obviously annoyed somebody out there, but everybody else, thank you very much for all your support, and if you have been, thank you for watching.